Blog Talk Radio.
In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex. The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist. We must never let the weight of this combination endanger our liberties or democratic processes. We should take nothing for granted. Only an alert and knowledgeable citizenry can compel the proper meshing of the huge industrial and military machinery of defense with our peaceful methods and goals, so that security and liberty may prosper together.
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society, and we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. We decided long ago that the dangers of excessive and unwarranted concealment of pertinent facts far outweighed the dangers which are cited to justify it. Even today, there is little value in opposing the threat of a closed society by imitating its arbitrary restrictions. Even today, there is little value in ensuring the survival of our nation if our traditions do not survive with it. And there is very grave danger that an announced need for increased security will be seized upon by those anxious to expand its meaning to the very limits of official censorship and concealment. That I do not intend to permit to the extent that it's in my control.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. We have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
George Bush has invoked a new world order without enunciating a new American purpose. Bush kept said, and it's a phrase that I often use myself, that we needed a new world order, and instead it looks like we got a lot of disorder.
John. Here, you burn this. Sure you wrote it big enough?
Yes, old King George should be able to see that.
When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, a decent respect requires that they declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident: that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, and among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. To secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. And whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and to establish new government. We, therefore, the representatives of the United States of America, do, and with the authority of the good people of these colonies, solemnly publish and declare that these united colonies are, and of right ought to be, free and independent states, that they are absolved of all allegiance to the British Crown, and that all political connection between them and the state of Great Britain is and ought to be totally dissolved. In the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor.
I think at one time or another we've all questioned as to whether all that we see and are experiencing in our world has some sort of a rational plan behind it, because we understand now that both the Republican and the Democratic Party in our country are basically run by the same people. The same money finances both sides. We now know, of course, through the work of many historians who have spent their life working on research to show us that both sides of world conflicts have always been financed by the same people. And as I've said before, there seems to be a method to the madness going on in the world. We know, of course, that we cannot depend on our leaders. Our leaders are misleaders. There is a science that they're following. They have their own agenda, and it doesn't include you. What your government pays for, it gets. If you are paid to do something for the government, they will extract from you exactly what they have paid for. When we understand that, then we look at universities and schools, government-financed institutions of education, and see the kind of students and the kind of education that's being turned out by these government-financed schools, logic will tell you that if what is being turned out in those schools was not in accord with what the state and the federal government wanted, then it would change it. The bottom line is that the government is getting what they have ordered. They're getting what they have paid for. They do not want your children to be educated. They do not want you to think too much. That is why our country and our world has become so proliferated with entertainments, mass media, game shows, television shows, amusement parks, drugs, alcohol, and every kind of entertainment that keep the human mind entertained, so that you don't get in the way of important people by doing too much thinking. You had better wake up and understand that there are people who are guiding your life and you don't even know it. And all American citizens, I think, have suspected something like this is going on. But we're all too busy trying to stay alive and live our lives. And after all, what can one person do about it? This is the most powerful government the world has ever known. They had the ability to get a hold on Adolf Hitler 50 years ago. He had a standing army, the greatest navy, air force, military, secret underworld organizations operating throughout the world. But this government got a hold on Adolf Hitler because it chose to and it wanted to. And if you do not pay your income taxes, they will find you if you go to the Amazon jungle, and they will make an example of you. They will find you and they will deal with you, and you know it. But for some reason, they're unable to get a handle on drugs and the crime in the streets for some reason.
Okay, everybody, Joseph Gibson here, broadcasting live from the Triad here in North Carolina, the Triad, the Triangle, where we've got more Freemason lodges than you can possibly imagine. You know, I invite people to the program to call in, 657-383-0616. And I ask people, but I know there's a lot of people out there who debate with me on social media, on Twitter, and they hide behind their fake profiles, social media trolls, and they don't want to have an honest discussion. They don't want to make their voices heard. Some do. Some do call into this radio program, and they support this radio program, and I appreciate that. I really do. But on last Thursday's show, we called Kamala Harris's office, the senator. They're from California, and I tried to expose this green bill that they were getting ready to put out for the corporate media to analyze and not tell you the truth about. And I exposed it, and then as soon as I started asking serious questions, and is this being recorded? Click, hang up. Just like what Jordan Maxwell said, these people have an agenda, and it does not include you. I also got a lot of compliments from a lot of my friends there about the abortion show I did there a week and a half ago. Abortion is murder. I posted videos on my Facebook page with a live abortion where it watches a doctor destroy a human being. Disgusting. But if you watch your corporate fake news, cup of coffee. The Catholic Church there, the Archdiocese, we're merciful. You can come to our church if you had an abortion. Yeah. Look, folks, this Ocasio-Cortez, she's a nut job with this green bill. Even if people are unwilling to work, they should be provided with free houses. Has any of you out there read what this nutcase has proposed? Have any of you? Or do you just go by what CNN and Fox fake news and all the other fake news corporate medias, which we've exposed on this show plenty of times? We've called them live. Maybe that's what we need to do. We need to call some corporate news media shows tonight. Maybe that's what we need to do. But I know I have callers on the line. I want to give everyone a voice here tonight. Whether you disagree with the voices or not, everyone does deserve a voice on this program. And I've invited people to have discussions on this program. All you got to do is press number 1 after my short little intro. It's an open mic. I don't censor callers. I don't mute callers. I don't kick them off my radio program, no matter what. Unless, of course, you're going to try to threaten me or do something crazy or stupid. But this Ocasio-Cortez and this green bill, did any of you out there read it? She proposes by 2030, no more driving cars or trucks. Okay? No more natural gas for energy, no more oil, and no more nuclear energy. But she left out coal, of course. She doesn't explain in her bill to the people, the bill, that's what it is, these criminal politicians. She doesn't explain any of that. And $7 trillion, that's what it's going to cost, all right? And it doesn't define who's going to be taxed on that. But I'm going to tell you right now, you, the people, the slaves, will pay if the socialists get their way. Socialism does not work. We exposed that on last Thursday's show. It does not work. Look at Venezuela. Look at Adolf Hitler. Look at Stalin. Look at Mao. The millions of people who have had to die because of these criminals. And now here in America, I hate Donald Trump. Donald Trump's a racist. He's an anti-Semite. He's got a Jewish daughter. But I've asked people to come onto this program, and I will bring them on live. As soon as I'm done here, I always try to lay out a little platform here. But how, and to address the abortion issue, everyone's worried about the governor of Virginia putting shoe polish on his face and doing the moonwalk instead of worrying about how he believes that an innocent child should be cut up and murdered after being born. That's okay. Well, it's a woman's right to choose, Well, but we called the New York City 1st Precinct on this show, and we got the sergeant on the line. It's archived. Go back and listen to the show. And I tried to ask him, why isn't that governor being arrested? You know, why? What's going on? You could sue the governor. I may agree with you, but blah, blah, blah. Well, he didn't give me a chance to ask another stupid question. That he may feel stupid, but I feel it's very important. How come if someone shoots a pregnant woman, they're charged with double homicide? I mean, after all, the baby that the woman's carrying, it's not a life, right? It's a fetus. It's nothing. It doesn't feel pain. So why should a man be charged with double homicide? Or a woman, whatever. You know, this country is so screwed up, and people are going to get what they deserve. They're going to get it. They're going to divide this country so bad. I mean, look at these Parkland High School students from that shooting in Florida. They proposed guns legislation in the state of Florida and want other states to follow. Guns need to be confiscated for anyone who even they think believes has any type of violent nature or criminal behavior. They should just go confiscate everyone's guns. You know, how disgusting. How disgusting is that? It really is. It really is disgusting. I mean, look, folks, you're not going to take people's guns. You're not going to do it. People are not going to go door to door in every single state in this union and confiscate people's guns. They're just not going to do it. All right? And if it does happen, there's going to be violence, lots of violence. I've spoken to state troopers. I've spoken to sheriffs. They said they'll turn their badge in. They better do more than turn their badge in. They need to burn their badge. Because I'm going to tell you right now, we the people are not going to tolerate this nonsense any longer. But like I said, it's an open mic forum here tonight, and all you got to do is call in and press the number 1, and I'll get you live on the air. You can talk uncensored, unscreened. The phone number is 657-383-0616. And if you got the guts to call in, if you want to make your voice heard, don't hide behind the internet. Don't hide behind social media and debate me and not call into my radio show, where I'm willing to give you a voice. I'm not going to argue and debate with you. I'm willing to allow you to speak. Okay? And the phone number is 657-383-0616. All you got to do is call in, press the number 1, and I will connect you live. And we're going to start the process right now. And hopefully we'll have some open discussions here with people. You know, I understand some people, you know, you're busy, you're at work, or, you know, you're just too busy trying to stay alive, like I played my intro. That's fine. But you know what? Before they shut down the internet and they regulate it, like Ocasio-Cortez wants to do, the nut job she is, and Kamala Harris, another nut job. But, you know, they're doing a great job. They're ensuring that Donald Trump will be reelected to the District of Columbia, the corporation, in 2020. And look, you know, Donald Trump is the president of the corporation. I agree with a lot of what he's doing. But all you Trump haters out there, you're welcome to call in and tell me why you hate Donald Trump. And provide facts, please. Provide some facts. Okay, first caller here. Let's go down the line. Everyone gets a chance to speak tonight if you want to. Talk about anything you want. All right, here we go. 302. Of course, we know this is Mandela Khan. He usually waits to the end of the show to talk, but I'm going to give him a chance to speak here tonight. Go ahead, Mandela Khan.
Those that are last is first, from the Genesis to this revolutionary revelation, and those that are last are first. Isn't it extraordinary? February 10th, 2019, that the voice, the boogeyman, the voodoo child is first. Joe Gibson. You don't know how extraordinary that is, and I want you to know that the brilliant ancestors dictated the policy on how we do our intro and our interaction on tonight's program. And it's so extraordinary that I'm first. Joe, that never happened before. You know that, don't you? Am I right?
Go ahead, Mandela Khan.
Very good. And I want you and your listeners in understanding the sign of the times in which we live, understand the times in which we live. There's oppressor and new people that wants to get in where they fit in, but under your other sectors, they didn't have the venue because they didn't know how. Maybe they didn't know that they were welcome. Maybe they didn't know. But let me give them a brief synopsis in history on this. Oh, history. Black History Month. That's a beautiful thing. You know, if I say Black History Month, or even if I say, and I have to do this because only I can do this, White History Month, according to the United States of America, Joe Gibson, my brother in the People's Revolution, the Bloodless Revolution, we are on course for something spectacular only because I'm not in 10, 6, and 3, CNN, C-SPAN, Fox, or FCC. I'm a needle in a haystack. And isn't it extraordinary? There are 10,000 BTRs in this country, not BET, BTRs, right? And look who's the king of talk real solutions on BTRs. Guess who it is? It's the Voodoo Child. How can I prove it? Because I know that Tyrone, Pinocchios are terrible under the red, white, and blue. Under the red, white, and blue, him and his 7 little rascals are listening right now, Joe Gibson. And also, I know that whoever follows the Confederate flag, and Joe Gibson, my brother in the People's Revolution, he's a Confederate flag waver. And everyone who's ever heard my voice from Maine to Florida, Washington State to California, from the UK, University of Kentucky, from the Congo to the Bongo, a 9th grade student by social standards, they know I stand for the red, black, and green, and I'm adding the gold standard under the matriarch. And I wanted to bring that up right quick under this White History Month. That's exactly precisely what Black History Month is. White History Month. And it's very good that I can talk about this because I wanted to bring forth something that no matter what we are, black, brown, red, yellow, white, old, young, gay, straight, alike, we can't be like Jose Feliciano, Helen Keller, Ray Charles, and Steve Wonder. We can't have our eyes wide open shut because of this testimony that only my voice can bring to the table. The war on terrorism and the war on drugs. And I have to do a program. The next program will be on the war on drugs and the war on terrorism. Whenever I'm allowed to host again, it'll be the war on terrorism and the war on drugs. All of you people in the United States of America, I want you to know, based on the times in which we live today, the pharmaceuticals and the drugs, the war on terrorism, the war on drugs, is the worst interaction ever in the history of the whole planet because it's not against no aircraft carriers, no submarines or surface-to-air missiles, or no Black Hawk helicopters, or no AK-47s or AR-15s. The war on terrorism and the war on drugs is an ideological war. It has families and people. It has constituencies. It has people who are representatives engaged in a monopoly of a blood cult of white magic. I mean that, Joe Gibson. In this cult, you can see that the war on terrorism and the war on drugs, based on what all the families are participating in today in the local, county, city, state, municipalities of this country, under legal or illegal or control or non-control. Now, if we lay the map of the world out right now, according to the Creator, there are commodities in certain sectors of the planet. If we go back to the French Connection and the war on drugs under the Mafia and the Italians, the Sicilians versus the cosmopolitans like John Gotti, we see that the war on drugs is about pharmaceuticals. And if I bring it fast forward, the French Connection heroin and the Mexican tar was one thing. But this new war on terrorism, though, has got the whole white world in America upside down. And I mean it's because of Suboxone and this thing called Percocets, and the doctors behind the doors 5, and give you this psychoanalysis that, look, here's what's wrong with you. You need some of this.
Well, hang on, Mandela Khan, hang on 1 second here. Let me ask you this question, all right? Because I don't see any more callers on the phone line here who have asked to call in. And I'll get to them if they call in and press the number 1. I mean, why are doctors responsible? You know, someone walks into a doctor's office and says, hey, you know, I hurt my back, I'm in pain, and they prescribe a Percocet for him, and that idiot goes out and abuses it. Well, you know, why is someone else accountable for someone else's bad decisions or accountability? It's called an individual accountability. You know, if you want to be an idiot and go out there and get hooked on drugs, that's your own fault. It's not anyone else's fault, but your own. You know, if I get into a car accident and I get whiplash and a doctor says, well, you're in pain and I prescribed you a Percocet, why is it a doctor's fault? And then if I get hooked on them, that's my own stupid damn fault. You know, I mean, why am I responsible or for anyone else's actions? It's called accountability. You know, we're individuals. We're individual human beings. I'm not responsible for what you do, and I'm not responsible for what any other person does. You know, but today we live in a world where it's the other person's fault. And you know, and we need to judge them and take them held accountable instead of the individual who's committing the crime or hurting himself. You know, and that's a socialist way to look at things. If you were going to hold everyone else accountable for what one individual does, or you know, if I go out and rob a bank, are you responsible? If I tell you to jump off a bridge and you do it, I should be held accountable. You know that old saying, you know. And I got another caller on the line, Mandela Khan. So I'll let you answer that question real quick, and then I'll press the number. Listen, I got you first, but just take a couple minutes to answer that question, and then I'll get to the next caller. Okay?
Here's why there's a flaw in your system, and I'll say of white power. And I have to say it like this because I know that every judge, every cop, every doctor, lawyer, Indian chief, every school teacher are under some kind of stimulant. And I want you to know that the United States of America, just like the rest of the world, just going to be heroin or poppy seeds or they're going to be cocoa leaves that don't ordinarily be produced in England, France, Germany, or the United States of America. We've had these substances, these pharmaceuticals, these commodities. A stimulated society is a part of the common law. It comes where you.
But we're not under common law anymore, Mandela Khan. Hang on. We're not under common law anymore. We're under a corporation.
Let me answer your question. Let me answer your question. See, you're going to put in your mind what's legal, illegal.
I'm not putting, no, Mandela Khan, I'm not putting that in my mind. We're not under common law anymore. We live under a corporation.
Throw that off the record. Hey, Joe, throw common law out. Throw that out. Your question, it proves that you can't win because of this. Stimulation from a child, everyone goes in a circle to get dizzy in a merry-go-round and all that. We live in a stimulated society, Joe Gibson, but white people, just like you, really don't have access to the commodities of the poppy seeds or the cocoa leaf or the coffee, the rubber, the tea. The only way you got access to them is you have to set a doom and gloom, and if y'all don't see what I see, then you are a drug dealer. You are
anyway, we all do have access to those, but we'll get back to this conversation. I don't want callers to have to wait too long that pressed 1, so let's listen to other callers here. You know, we'll get back to the conversation. We got plenty of time here. We've still got an hour and 30 minutes. And before I get to my next caller, I did ask someone from social media to call in and talk about that. You know, we the people are the jurors in this country. We're the jurors. We are the jury, all right? But we don't enforce our rights as a jury. You know, and there is a lawful way of doing that, and maybe I've done shows on this with the Restore America plan and the Restore the Republic. And this is what's all wrong with the entire situation. And I've proven this time and time again.
Who's the caller? You said you had a caller. You cut me off when you said you had a caller.
I've got another caller, but I'm just making my point because it is my radio show. So I'm just making a point here.
You're right about
that. I'm trying to invite other people to the radio program. All right, hang on. I'm just trying to invite other people to the radio program so they understand the times in which you live in today. And the fact of the matter is that we are a corporation. We are born into slavery. It doesn't matter white,
in
black.
violation of the Constitution of the people on the planet.
We are not under the Constitution anymore. There is no more Constitution. There's two different constitutions. Go back and look at the acts of 1871, okay? But anyway, I've got callers here on the phone line. Mandela Khan, hang on. We'll get back to the conversation. All anyone has to do is press 1. I don't screen callers, so I'll go to a private caller right now. Go ahead, private caller.
Hey, good evening. Mike from Wisconsin calling. How's everybody?
Doing all right, Mike.
Okay.
We're great. We're on course, Mike. Go ahead.
Well, what I'm trying to bring up is how things have changed, okay? When I was a young boy and I used to go to elementary school, we had this one teacher. Her name was Mrs. Corkin. And if there was somebody acting up in the class or the class clown or whatever, all she had to do is, put her hands on her chest and stare over at the clock. And every 15 minutes, or actually every 15 seconds, that we were still in that mode, she would take that time off our recess. And even another thing.
Well, Mike, when you grew up, and you see, in that time, Mike, today that would be considered abuse, and that teacher would be fired. And we get back to the foundations of this country. And we're so far away from the foundations of this country, it is sickening. Just look at this idiot, Ocasio-Cortez, with her green bill. I mean, these criminal politicians, they don't represent you. They don't care about you. Mandela Khan, hang on, I'll get back to you, Mandela Khan, but please.
Miss Harris and Cortez, you are illegal, Joe. Why can't you find any good...
Well, anyway, she's a nut job. Ocasio-Cortez is a nut job. Simple as that.
No, she's not. No, she's not.
Yes, she is. She's a nut. She's a cuckoo case, and it's a fact. She's a nut case.
What about the woman that want to give reparations to African Americans?
Hey, you know what? My kids are going to be going to college in about 8 years. I want you to pay for it, okay? How about that? That's what Ocasio-Cortez
wants. What about the white woman who want to give reparations to African Americans? Joe Gibson.
No.
What about the white woman who want to give reparations to African Americans?
Mandela Khan, hang on. Ocasio-Cortez, Mandela Khan, in 10 years from now, are you willing to give up your truck and car? Because that's what's in her green bill. You are no longer Mandela Khan, don't interrupt me. You are no longer to drive a car or a truck. And you know what? You don't use oil. You don't use natural gas anymore. We get rid of nuclear energy. And guess what? All airplanes, no more flight. This woman is a nutcase. She's a nutcase. She is a complete nut. Ocasio-Cortez is a nut.
Thank you, Joe, for putting that into international public record and understanding the times in which we live.
You're very much welcome. She is a nutcase, and so is Kamala Harris and all these other liberals.
But I am in opposition,
and if they want to try to take our guns, and if they want to try to come take our guns and disarm us, I say come and take them. Like the Texas Alamo.
Gibson is my brother in the People's Revolution.
Try it.
But I am in opposition to what he's saying right now.
From within. Look, America will be destroyed from within. That's a fact. We all know it's a fact. It's going to be destroyed from within. And we're going to plunge. And everyone who hates the Jewish people. Mandela Khan, please. I will let you speak, but you can't talk over me. And you know what? Like those stupid high school students in Florida who think anyone who may have a tendency of anger or violence, the police need to go confiscate their guns. They need to take them. Oh, yeah? Yeah? Come and take it. You try that. And you know what? You're going to get what you want, Mandela Khan, but you're not going to get a free house.
Guess what?
You're not going to get all your bills paid.
Your aircraft carriers, your submarines cannot defeat my people, Joe Gibson.
Listen,
your
I know,
bombs
Mandela
cannot
Khan,
defeat
will
my
you
people.
hang on? All right. You see, Mandela Khan, you're talking over it. Listen, you can get back and address my points here, but you can't talk over
I'll
me,
be quiet. I'll be quiet. I'm sorry.
Everyone hates that little tiny country of Israel that's 12 miles wide. I know the Zionist Jew is taking over everything, and everyone hates that tiny. They're only fulfilling in the book of Revelation, chapter 11. All you got to do is read it. Go ahead. Hey, I say, go ahead, folks. Let's hate the Jew. Let's attack Israel. Why not? Let's abandon Israel. Let's back off, everyone, because you're only fulfilling prophecy. I can't wait. I want to be God. I want to be up in heaven with my God. Let's get raptured out of here. Let's do it, folks. Let's destroy America. Good job. Good job, Mandela Khan. You deserve a free house. Everyone should pay for your house, right? Everyone deserves it. Everyone deserves everything for free. Nobody has to get up and go to work anymore. You know what? That's what Ocasio-Cortez thinks. And that's what's in her green bill. Hey, by the way, her green bill will cost about $7 trillion. You got $7 trillion, Mandela Khan? Hey, let's just print the money. Why not? That's what they do best.
Of the People's Revolution, his name is Joe Gibson of North Carolina. Tyrone Thompson.
All right, let's get to the next caller. Let's get to the next caller here, Mandela Khan. Let's get to the next caller. Area code 251 on screen. Go ahead.
Greetings, everyone. It's Akshita Veda from Mobile, Alabama. How are you out there?
Doing good. Welcome back to the program, my friend.
Thank you. It's nice to be back. I'm listening to the show I just got on, and from what I can hear, we're talking about the right to bear arms and the new Green Bill. I'm going to look up the new Green Bill.
The and the total
recall. Don't speak over her. Let her speak, please. Don't do that. So everyone gets a chance to speak uninterrupted. Go ahead, ma'am. Go ahead.
Based on the from what I'm hearing in the show, there are a lot of things that need to take place in our thinking as far as where we go from here. And just like Mandela Khan has just spoken about, the matriarch and the total recall of the Ethiopian Empire is where we are, and we are in the exigency of Class Action 567. And so in that in the exigency of Class Action 567 is bringing forth the people's government, where people gain their own sovereignty back and begin to establish the powers that must be. So I was watching the news this evening, and there's so much coming out on the news, but there's so much that's not being spoken of on the news. I do, in my own personal opinion, believe that we should all have the right to bear arms to protect ourselves for what is to come. Not saying that we need to have weapons to pull out and just go and strike people or, shoot and kill people off the basis of personal and emotional issues that we all go through. That's not a reason to bear arms, but to protect yourselves from state-sponsored terrorists, federal-sponsored terrorists, then we all need to be able to protect ourselves against the weaponry in which they use against us as a people to keep us conformed in the system in which we're in. But it doesn't give us the right to turn the guns on one another, and this is where the confusion comes from. Because instead of using these weapons to protect yourselves and to protect your children against the wrong that's being done against us as a people, and when I say as a people, I don't mean all black people. I don't mean all white people. I don't mean all Hispanic people. I don't mean all men, and I don't mean all women. I'm talking about all people. It doesn't matter what color your skin is. It doesn't matter what you believe in. The point of the matter is we are all facing social injustice, and we as a people have to come together to make that right. It doesn't matter.
She's a veteran of the United States military.
Hang on. Mandela-Khan, hang on. Mandela-Khan, don't interrupt her. Let her finish her point, please. Go ahead.
It's all good. The thing of the matter is we must come together as a people and lay aside our differences and look at those things that we need to focus on to get us back to where we need to be so we can be free. Because right now we're in a state of mental insanity. And so until we come out of that state, we're going to continue to have these ridiculous debates. So it's not about debating. Let's get it together and let's say, okay, here are those things that we don't like. What do we do to make it right?
And how can we make it right? And I want you to stay on the phone line. I want to get to other callers. I don't want them to wait too long. But how can we make it right? That's a great point. But let's get to some other callers here. Bring them on the platform. 678, unscreened, uncensored. Go ahead.
Hello, am I on the air?
Yeah, you're on the air.
Hello?
Go ahead, my friend. Yeah, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Okay. I just want to call in and say I'm very upset when you called in the Tony Talk show, and I think that you are a very rude man, and this show is just garbage. Never call in again, please.
Well, that's good. You're entitled to your fake opinion, sir. That's right. You hang up and run away. And I'm very rude for giving you a voice. That's right. I'm very rude. So you can go away, run away, because that's what cowards do. And see, this show isn't about cowards. It's about giving people a voice and understanding the times in which we live in today. And you see, that will get us nowhere. That will get us nowhere when a caller calls up and states something like that. How can we be unified as a people? How can we restore the republic where all of us have a right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness? I played it in my intro. Shall I play that 3-minute intro again? Do all of you have time to listen to that? Do you have time to just listen to 3 minutes before I take the next caller? Do you have time? I would like to play that for the new callers. Do you have time? If not, you could hang up and go away like the last caller. But listen to what we were founded on. Everyone has a right to the life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, and this government doesn't.
That has nothing to do with African and indigenous people.
It has everything to do with African. It has everything to do with all the people that live in this country, Mandela-Khan, but I'm going to play it, and I want everyone to comment on that after I play it. It's only 3 minutes. If you don't have 3 minutes of time to understand the times in which you live in today, then you're on the wrong platform. Because I give everyone a voice just like I did the last idiot who called and hung up. So I'm an idiot, yeah, whatever. But go ahead, Gary.
John. Here, you learn this. Sure you wrote it big enough?
Yes, old King George should be able to see that.
When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, a decent respect requires that they declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, and among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. To secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. And whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and to establish new government. We, therefore, the representatives of the United States of America, do and with the authority of the good people of these colonies solemnly publish and declare that these united colonies are, and of right ought to be, free and independent states, that they are absolved of all allegiance to the British Crown, and that all political connection between them and the state of Great Britain is and ought to be totally dissolved. In the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor.
Now, how many of you are willing to pledge your lives, your fortunes, and your sacred honor to fix the crap that's going on today in America? The crap, the big fat lie, the Federal Reserve Bank that bought you the day you were born. How many of you are willing to do that? You know, and I'm not going to play any more intros. I'm not going to play because I had Jordan Maxwell on there also, who talked about how these people are misleaders, the Republicans, the Democrats. They don't care about you. They don't care. None of them do, because they're owned and operated by their constituents. We exposed that on last Thursday's show when we called Kamala Harris out in California and her office before this green bill came up. You know, we all have that right to pursuit of happiness, and it should be unobstructed. We should not be regulated. I told a story how about I was working as a landscaper on Thursday, and I was installing an irrigation system with someone, and the city showed up and said, "You can't do that. You can't do that without permission from the city. I can't work for this individual here. I cannot work blood, sweat, and tears without permission from the king, from the crown. Oh no, no. You need a licensed plumber to come out for 15 minutes work and pay him, and then we'll come inspect it, and otherwise we'll rip it to pieces and rip it out of the ground. We'll destroy your work." That's what I was told by the city. You know, but did the homeowner stand by me? No, he didn't. I'll just pay. I'll just cooperate. I got to cooperate with the city. I got to pay. You know what? You don't have to do nothing. We all need to stand up. And what the last caller just said about the right to bear arms, it is our right to protect ourselves, mainly, really, against tyrannical governments like this one. You know, I was watching that show Cops the other day, and I want to tell this story. You know, a kid was playing video games in his house with another guy in China, and the guy in China found out where he lived, got his phone number, and he made an anonymous call to the police department. And the police department SWAT team said that actually he said that there's a kid in there that has a bomb strapped to his chest, and he has hostages. And the SWAT team showed up, kicked down the door. And come to find out, the kid was just playing video games. They have no right to kick down your castle, your kingdom, where you live. You are a king. They have no right. And you know what the cop said? Well, we found out the call came from China after the fact. And he said, sometimes we actually even shoot people after we kick down the door and they're innocent. What a damn shame that is. What a damn shame that is. That is disgusting. No one has the right to kick down your door and handcuff you and kidnap you and assault you and throw you into a warehouse. Nobody does. This system is so screwed up. We should be ashamed of ourselves.
The war on guns.
All right, yeah, I know the war on guns. I know, Mandela-Con. Everyone's going to lay down their guns and their bows and arrows and spears and rocks and sticks, and everyone's going to live peacefully ever after. No.
Under white power. Under white power,
it's not about white power, Mandela-Con. It has nothing to do about white power. It has to do with the power of the bankers
Can you hear me?
Control us.
Joe Gibson.
Am I
this
unmuted?
Is not Black History Month.
You're not. You're unmuted.
This is not Black History Month. I want to tell you this.
I don't care what month it is. You can call it Purple History Month. I really don't care.
And reparations. Okay? This is about all or nothing.
Nobody's getting any reparations. We all have a right to,
This is not about 40 acres and a mule.
You want 40 acres and a mule, fine. Ocasio-Cortez can give it to you.
Gibson,
all right?
Silence your goddamn voice. You mentioned two women, Harris, Cortez. 40 acres and a mule under white power. Under black
They're not
Black
under any power.
History
You know what
Month
power they're
or
under,
White
Mandela
History
Con,
Month,
and you just
under
don't get
Black
it. They're
History
under the
Month
power
or
of the
White
Federal
History
Reserve
Month,
Act of
White
1913.
History
That's
Month
what they're
or
under the
Black
power
History
of.
Month, White History Month under Joe Gibson, and Black History Month under Mandela Con. I'm drawing a line in the sand, just like you did Muammar Gaddafi. This guy, Osama bin Laden.
I may agree with you on that. You're right. The United States Corporation
I'm drawing
has no
a line in the
business.
sand.
Mandela Con, can
you
I
are
speak,
white
please?
power under
Mandela
Confederacy.
Mandela Con.
It's all
I agree
or
with
nothing.
you there.
I don't give a goddamn about no reparations or 40 acres in the moon. Hold on.
Yeah,
Hold on.
go
No,
ahead.
you can't interject. No, you can't.
Go ahead.
Okay, this is what I want to say. Okay, I'm in the process again. This is Akshita Veda, Mobile, Alabama. I'm currently right now in the process of producing a book that will also display works of art that are revolutionary pieces of art that tells the story about the signs of the times in which we are in, right? And it brings forth the fact that the matriarch is the real solution, the only solution to the crisis, hardship, and
There's
state of
only one
emergency.
son of the matriarch. His name is the voodoo child.
Why are you interrupting her, Mandela Khan? Why are you interrupting?
I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. If you want to know the truth, I'll tell you why, you no good bastard. Now, Tyrone Thompson, I know you and your little rascals are
Mandela
listening.
Khan, you didn't let her finish. Mandela Khan.
I don't have to. I don't have to.
Can she finish her point before I get to another caller? Can she, please? I would like to know about this book. Mandela Khan, please. I'm asking you out of respect, please. I would like to know about this book. I want her to promote this book.
Mark
please,
Zuckerberg has never put me in Facebook prison, and he knows I'm here to destroy Tyrone Thompson.
All right. Go ahead, Archiveda. I had to mute him because he's not letting you finish. Either you agree. I know you may agree with some of his things, but I want you to finish your point, please.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. And we know that Mandela Khan is the chosen son of the matriarch, and what he brings to the people is the spiritual and political education of the people's government, okay? And so this is why he comes across the way that he does from my perspective. But this book will reveal the real agenda against the people and the precepts to how we get free. And precepts, is just for general purposes, is defined as a rule in general intended to regulate behavior and thought. So we are in a state of temporary insanity. We're not thinking the way we should properly be thinking, and our behavior does not coincide with the way we need to be behaving in order to get our freedom. So we are the authors of our own stories. The rebirth of a nation is the avenue in which we shall travel to make it through. The process is the installment of the people's government as we properly establish the powers that must be. In this book, you will also gain insight on the 6 stages of self-determination, as I will be introducing the rites of passage for women. One of the most profound terms you will become more acclimated with from this book is Class Action 567, which is the People's Revolution, which is the bloodless revolution. And so we don't have to fire one shot to get the freedom that we need. It's just a matter of changing our own minds and coming together in one accord. So it's just like a chorus. You have soprano, alto, tenor, and bass. You have 4 different sections, and nobody in these sections sound exactly the same. But when they sing together, the harmony that comes from this chorus is beautiful, and the sound that they make can bring a grown man to tears. So the point of the matter is, when we get into one accord with one another and in harmony, and know that it is not going to take one vote, one shot, or education to get us out of what we have been pretty much forced into, which is the status of POUW, which is prisoners of unjust war, and we've been at war since the European alien illegal invaders came over here and waged war on the people of this land here and at home abroad. So this is where we are today, and the book, The Matriarch by Akshita Veda, will be coming to you soon with this information and art that will display just where we are and how we get our freedom. Thank you.
Okay, I had a 386 there caller from Florida. They must have dropped. I don't know where they went. But I got another private caller here. Let's see. Who knows what we get here on live on Blog Talk Radio. Let's see here. Private caller, go ahead.
Yes, my dear Joseph Gibson. How are you? This is Mike.
How you doing, Mike? Mike from Singapore, correct? Singapore.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. I mean, I just came in, so I guess the topic is open. You know, it's terrorist government of Iran. It became 40 years anniversary 2 days ago, 48 hours ago. And this regime it has its hands in Lebanon. Hezbollah of Lebanon keep sending arms to them, and also in Syria we have seen, and also Afghanistan, and also Yemen for the Houthis, Shia Houthis. This terrorist regime of government of Iran must go. Now we go back to 1979. That what happened, that the regime of Shah was coupled down. The reason is very clear, because Iran was going to be a superpower in Persian Gulf. They did not have eyes. Shame to Jimmy Carter. We say, Jimmy Carter, shame on you, because for creating a mess in Iran, because Iran was becoming a superpower. And the reason, the great reason is when the Shah of Iran, the last message to the Iranian people and also to the OPEC, said, I am coming out of OPEC. I am not going to be bounded by OPEC rules. I am going to sell my oil as anybody who wants to buy, I give them the price. You want it, you can buy it. You don't want it, go somewhere else. We have no problem.
Well, Mike from Singapore, according to the liberals here in the District of Criminals here in America, they say you have no right to sell what you want to sell. They want to regulate it and say, you know,
right.
And give it away for free. You know, everyone
right.
has a right to everything for free, right?
And then,
like this nut job Ocasio-Cortez, which we tried to call her
right.
office live on this radio show. We did get someone from Kamala Harris's office live on this radio show on Thursday, and I wanted to discuss this green bill that they want to come up with, and then of course we spoke to the mayor's office in Imperial Beach about the pollution off the coast of San Diego, California. And I'm probably going to get the mayor's office live on this program on Thursday. From what I understand, hopefully I can get the mayor's office on there. But, you know, what do you think about this socialist agenda?
Yeah, well, we have to reason what reason the Shah of Iran collapsed. Because Shah said, screw you, OPEC. I sell what I want to sell. You don't want it, go to the hell. And Jimmy Carter and the Queens of the London, which rule us in the United States of America, they decided, no. If Shah wants,
Mike, you're absolutely correct, Mike, and that was one of the points I also wanted to bring up here. The criminal banking cartel, that the central banking scheme, and the founders of the republic in this country warned us, if we ever allow a central banking scheme, Andrew Jackson fought against it. He was almost assassinated. John F. Kennedy had his head blown off for trying to abolish the Federal Reserve. Ronald Reagan, when he tried to investigate through the Grace Commission in the 1980s, where did all the gold go? They put one in his chest, and he shut up real quick. And then we know the criminal George Bush with his New World Order plans. You know, look, these bankers have a plan for us. You know, and I understand what Archeveda was saying here, you know, about, you know, this. We're all together here standing up against this New World Order that they are planning. But, you know, America's going to be destroyed from within. And and we see it happening every single day
you are
now.
Right. You are
We're
right.
more divided than any other time in history other than the Civil War, which was not fought over slavery. It was fought over the Northerners trying to incorporate the South and put high tariffs on the cotton. And then slavery after that became an issue when Lincoln, used the African American people to fight against the South, and when actually, in fact, most Northerners owned more slaves than the South, But we're too busy tearing down statues today and worrying about stupid, idiotic, nonsense issues instead of paying attention to the real issue. The fact of the matter is that the law is still on our side, and this criminal corporation, these politicians, Republican and Democrats, should be arrested. We, the people here in this country, have the power to do that, but we don't.
Let me connect what happened to Iran to here, and then what happened. Then Queen of London and United States, the MI6, the CIA said, time to kick his ass. We are telling him go out of Iran. So he thought that he's going out of Iran and he will come back in a few days or 1 week, etc. But actually he had the cancer and he died. But then what happened? The last Prime Minister of Iran, Dr. Shahpour Bakhtiar, he was ordered as soon as the Air France. You see, they give him France gave him free right to Iran with all the top journalists. So Dr. Shahpour Bakhtiar knew that and ordered the two F-5s or two or three F-5s. Go ahead, intercept as soon as Air France coming to the Iranian soil, put it, blow it up. Okay? But then what happened? In the very last moment when they asked Dr. Shahpour Bakhtiar that Mr. Zalak, should we push or not? Should we push? He said, no, come back to your bases. And later on when he was captured in Iran, but somehow he was able to escape, and then he is in France. And then one of his interviews said, the reason I did that, I want the people of Iran to come and see this devil, Ayatollah, that what is going to do is going to make.
And Mike, I got another caller on the line here, a private caller. I love giving you a voice. You're from Singapore, and you brought a lot. You bring information
But
go ahead,
remember,
Mike. Finish your point, and then I want to get to another private caller. Go ahead.
Yeah, sure. My point is Queen of London owns America, owns OPEC, owns pretty much all the world. And everything is happening in the world is because of this stupid Queen of London. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, we don't need no damn queen. We don't need no European queen here in America. I agree with you there. We'll get into the Rothschilds and the J.P. Morgans and the Carnegies and maybe on another show. But let's go to another private caller. Go ahead, private caller.
Well, hello there, Joseph. I just want to come back on and really get to the bottom of this. You called into Tony Talk and started to berate the host. I don't think that's very professional of you.
I didn't hear what. Can you repeat that? I didn't hear you. Can you speak a little louder? We got a lot of callers on the line. I didn't. What do you want to talk about tonight?
That you called into Tony Talk and you berated the host, and I don't think that was very gentlemanlike. I don't think that's what a man like yourself should be doing.
What show was that I call into? Can you name that show?
Tony Talk.
Next caller, Joe Gibson. No,
Mendelicon.
No, you
Mendelicon,
shut your fucking mouth. You shut your fucking mouth.
All right. Well, now hang on. All right, the private caller hung up. I think he was talking about a show that depicted me as a racist cracker. And wanted to try to demean me like Talk Real Stupid does.
Let me tell you about that. Let me tell you something. Exactly, this means they got it from Lenin and Stalin. Stalin said, if you want to bring somebody down, you say that you are bad, you are this, you are that, you are socialist, you are communist, you are this. So the person, instead of able to run to do his or her work, then now has to come to defend himself. So exactly this
well, you see these other blog talk shows. Hang on, I want to get back to Archiveda here and other callers here. But you see these other blog talk shows, and like Mendelicon did say, hang on, I got to unmute his number here. But Mendelicon, please don't talk over me. Just wait. You'll get a chance to talk, brother. Please. You know I was giving you a voice. I didn't see you were muted. I apologize for that. I just, but hang on.
I agree, my
hang
brother
on,
of the People's Revolution.
You see,
Let me
brought
calm
up.
my ass down.
Mendelicon, can I finish? And then I'll give you a chance to speak. Please. I'm asking you out of respect. You just heard another blog talk radio show call in here and attack me. But I want to prove them wrong right now. I want to prove them wrong. Did I mute him?
No. You don't need to prove anything, my friend.
No. Actually, I do. I just want to do it live on the air so it's archived. Did I kick him off my show? No. He hung up and ran away instead of answering my questions. You see, but other blog talk shows and racist shows, and they are racist, and even Dr. Packed Holiday with her cult out there. I do call in other blog talk radio shows. I give them, and they give me about 20 seconds. Muted, and then they kick me out of the chat room. I don't do that on my show. Everyone is given a voice on my radio program. So my point is proven, last caller. Go ahead, Archiveda. Go ahead. Sorry.
I just want to say,
wait. I got 386 again back on the line. If 386 wants to make a point here, press. All right, I got 386 back on the line. They were waiting a long time. Let's give them a voice. They're from Florida. We are worldwide here, and let's see what this individual has to say. Go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, Joe, how you doing? Hey, I just wanted to bring up a point. I've been hanging out with a couple friends, and I'm beginning to wonder about some of these theories now about the Earth. It is flat. The Earth is flat. And they got a really great
Hey, look, that's not a criteria for tonight. Fuck the flat Earth or the round Earth.
All right, hang on. Mendelicon, let him make his point, please. We give everyone a voice here on this program. You know that. Come on. If he believes the Earth is flat, we'll go ahead and let him speak. Just go give him a couple of minutes. We've got plenty of time here. Go ahead.
Can a jet fly in a straight line? If it did,
I've never flown a jet. I don't know.
Hey, you there?
Yeah, go ahead, 386. You got a couple minutes here. Go ahead, make your point, please.
I just had a quick question. Can a jet fly in a straight two-dimensional line?
I don't think so. Can it?
You don't think a jet can fly in a straight line?
I don't know. I've never flown a jet. I've been on a jet, and I mean, if the Earth is flat, then I always tell flat Earth people to just point me to the edge so I can jump off. You know?
Why would there be
This is about dad watching the daily news.
Because the map.
No,
the map
you cannot fly. I can answer that, gentleman. There is no way that an aircraft can fly in a straight line.
Kill or be killed versus live and let live.
Mendelicon,
kill or
stop.
be killed.
All right, Mendelicon, just hang on. This is interesting. Okay, so you're a flat Earth Society believer, am I correct?
No, that's not correct.
Okay, so what's your point?
The Flat Earth Society is no real flat earther involves himself with the Flat Earth Society. That's controlled opposition.
Okay, so is the moon flat also? Do you think the moon is flat too?
It looks two-dimensional to me.
Okay, so the Earth if the moon isn't flat, then how could the Earth be flat?
What does the moon have to do with the shape of the Earth?
Well, I mean, I'm just asking, why would the Earth be created flat and not the moon? You know, I mean, I'm just wondering.
That's because you're thinking you know how the Earth was created.
Well, I do know. Would you like to? Would you like to have a discussion on the flat Earth on Thursday night? We could do that, just you and me, and I'll have you as a private guest.
Oh, that would be great.
All right, Thursday night, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'll bring in some historians and theological experts that would love to have a very common sense discussion with you. I'll invite you back to the program. I really would like that. And you could bring some of your friends who may believe also.
I think I can handle it.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. Hey, like I said, I give everyone a voice on this program. I wasn't rude to you. I didn't, throw you off the program and mute you. But I'd like to have that discussion. The flat, you're not a part of the Flat Earth Society, you said, but you believe the Earth is flat. And I actually tried to address this a couple weeks ago, and a couple people from the Flat Earth Society actually were quite rude, and then we got into a big debate and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, Thursday night, this Thursday, we could do a show on if the Earth is flat or not. That would be great. And if you want to call in, I'll have you as my personal guest. How's that sound?
That sounds perfect.
Okay, 7 p.m. Thursday night. We have an individual here who believes the Earth is flat, and he's going to get and perhaps he can bring us some historical or not scientific notes on that, and we'll have that discussion. That would be great. You can continue on with your point if you want. I'll give you a couple more minutes because I got some other callers here, but I like to give everyone ample amount of time. Go ahead.
The easiest way for me is asking people if an aircraft can fly in a straight two-dimensional straight line. And so far I've heard no, which is just absurd. I mean, an aircraft can fly any direction it wants to. Obviously, it can fly straight and level. The question is, what is straight and level? Straight and level is a two-dimensional straight line. And if a plane flew in a two-dimensional straight line, it would gain altitude as a result if the Earth were a sphere.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll bring people on to the program. I'll do my research this week, and I'll dedicate Thursday's show to you, sir. If you want, would you mind giving me at least your first name so I can put it in my analog and advertise it?
Judd, J-U-D.
J-U-D. Okay. All right. Well, you got Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll have a discussion on the flat Earth. All right, folks, we'll do that, and I'll bring some people on that can have a logical discussion with this individual, and that would be great. And I thank you for calling into the program tonight. I really do.
I appreciate it.
All right, you're welcome, sir. And we're always live here, and let's unmute a private caller. Go ahead. I don't mute people. They can mute themselves, but private caller, go ahead.
I appreciate it. You're welcome, sir. You want me to go?
Private caller, go ahead. You're live on Blog Talk Radio, understanding the times in which you live in today. Go ahead.
Am I still live?
Yes.
Yeah, 386. You're still live, actually, but I'm trying to connect another caller. Private caller, are you there?
Hello.
Okay, that's obviously a crank caller, and that's what we get with popular radio shows. We get, some crank callers that want to call in and everything, and. Let's go with another private caller here. Go ahead, private caller. Let's see what you got to say. He hung up. I unmuted someone else actually by accident. The phone number is 657-383-0616. Archiveda, what do you think about this flat Earth stuff? You're a very knowledgeable woman. Can you talk to me about this, please?
It is actually interesting because I didn't really think I would find any interest in his comment, but when I actually quieted my mind and took in the information that he was giving, it's actually very profound and very relevant to who we are as people and how we truly move once we get outside of this body. We stay stuck on this physical plane, and we don't realize that there are so many more elements to us. So when we realize, if we could recognize the levitation of an instrument as heavy as a plane into the sky, and whether it has the capacity to fly straight and steady That it's really, can you do that within your own mind? You know, because our minds can go from here to there and be a little bit of everywhere. But if we quiet our minds and learn how to meditate, can we levitate? So, I mean, that discussion of flat earth, round earth is more so of the human body and how we operate as an earth.
Oh, he's going to dedicate the whole show, he said.
You can get your point across this way.
So I just thought it was very interesting what Judd had to bring, because it takes us out of this physical realm and takes us into the metaphysical. And so we also exist there. And
Archivado, I would like to have you back on Thursday at 7 p.m. actually to listen into this conversation. That should be very interesting, and I'll bring in some theological professors and maybe some other people who wanted to have this discussion about 3 weeks ago. Actually got angry with me because I didn't bring on some of the flat Earth believers. That should be very interesting. I hope gentleman Judd will show up Thursday and keep his promise, because this should be a very interesting discussion.
I agree. I would love to. I wrote it down because I'm like, I think I'm gonna actually tune in on Thursday, because see, this is a lot of on my realm in which I understand, but it's kind of hard to speak about it when most people are in this physical and they don't know how to get outside of this body. So when you're talking to people from a different plane, the frequency is not the same. So the sender is not getting across the appropriate message for the receiver to receive it appropriately. So then that's a pointless conversation. So I would love to join. Hold on, baby. I would love to join the conversation and just to hear the thought process of people who think like this. Because,
hey, Archivada, say hello to your children for me.
No, Gibson,
you gotta love live radio, right?
Yes. We love you, Joe.
Oh, I love your children. Tell them we're fighting for them, aren't we, Archivada? We're fighting for their future, aren't we?
we are, and because they are our progeny, and our progeny is our legacy, our children. And so what we build today is going to set them up for success tomorrow, where they won't have to see the struggles that our previous ancestors and family members have seen. And what we are doing right now is bridging that gap between older generations and this younger generation, so they know where we come from, so they know where we're going.
Thank you, Archivada. You know I love you as a person. You know that. You're a good friend of mine. We may not agree on everything, but you know what? We do agree that we're in a battle here. You know? Go,
yes,
386, you want to say something?
He does not have a PhD. He's supposedly in religion.
That guy said he's fucking a jet can't fly in the street.
All right, let's get to a private caller here real quick here. But that should be an interesting discussion there. The flat Earth believer. That's going to be a great show Thursday. And trust me, I've got thousands of followers on Facebook, Twitter, and I'm going to promote the show starting tonight. So hopefully 386 will join me on that. That's going to be a great discussion. And maybe Leroy there, who said he was prepared for a flat Earth discussion, will call in. And I'll dedicate the show for Leroy and this caller. But private caller, go ahead. Private caller, you're unmuted. Go ahead.
I believe that's for you and whoever. You know what I'm saying? And you should have
their phone is no good. I cannot hear them.
For abortion, why are they then? If it's so wrong, why? Well, you believe.
All right, okay. There's a lot of background noise there for one of the callers there. Private caller, go ahead. You're unmuted. All right, that's got to be Tone playing games. That's got to be Tone or one of these the hindsight radio people where I called into Tony's show or Coney or whatever he wants to call himself.
Yeah, exactly.
The prophet, whatever they got to be. But listen, we've got we got a lot of callers on the line here. And what I want to do is I want to give everyone 5 minutes to have some closing thoughts here to the program here tonight at least. And you know what? I've got to start with MandelaCon first, and then I'll go down the line. So, and then I'll have my closing thoughts, because usually I get cut off, and then I don't get to say anything, because I like to give everyone else a voice first. So I'll just go down the line. Everyone that called in tonight can have a closing thought. But Thursday at 7 p.m., we're going to talk about the flat Earth. That's what we're going to talk about. It's all set up Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, U.S. time, okay, for anyone who's listening around the world. Who knows? This show goes so many different places sometimes, but I'm going to give MandelaCon 5 minutes to speak and then go down the line. And, of course, Arsha Veda will get 5 minutes, too. She's very knowledgeable, kind person, and she knows I love her, and I'm glad I got to say hi to her children there. And I will say prayers for her and her children, and hopefully they always remain safe and happy and have a chance at life like we had a chance, and continue to waken people up. I'm sure she's a good mom and is doing the best thing she can for her children. But MandelaCon, go ahead, MandelaCon. You get 5 minutes, and we'll go down the line. Go ahead.
All right. Right now, I have 8:21. That means at 8:26, if I don't submit the platform under the sign of the times in which we live in 5 minutes, nobody is to interact or to disrupt or to cuss, fuss, or try to start a riot, right? And I appreciate tonight's program, and I'll start right now. On behalf of the Ethiopian Empire of the Pan-African Intelligence Network, which is African internationalism to the core, and Akshita Veda, I have to talk to you this way because I paid my dues based on flat or round Earth. Flat or round. And that's a beautiful thing as we look in
Hey,
February.
MandelaCon, not to interrupt you, but what I'm going to do is I just want to let everyone know, just because of background noise, I'll unmute you. I don't want MandelaCon to be interrupted from background noise, so I'll unmute you when it gets to your turn, okay? I want to do that because and he can have a little extra time here because there's a lot of background noise, which I understand that happens. But go ahead, MandelaCon. Sorry to interrupt you.
You interrupt that nigger good.
Oh, a nigger. Thank you on February 2019 for putting that into international public record. If you will be as bold as you are under the Confederate flag in the red, white, and blue, you call me a nigger. What's your name? And I'm not Toby. I'm Kunta Kinte. I'm Shaka Zulu. You no good bastard. What's your name? What's your name? You white power advocate that called me a nigger on February 2019. What's your name? If not, Joe Gibson, I want my 5 minutes to start right now.
Go ahead, MandelaCon. Go ahead, because we got plenty of time here. Everyone's going to get a chance to speak and respond to you. Go ahead.
Now, Cash Jesus, the sinister, Black Jesus minister, y'all call every Confederate flag waver or red, white, and blue waver call Cash Jesus sinister a nigger. But never from the Tyrone, the terrible Thompson, the producer, and all his little rascals are listening. Y'all never said the original N-word. The original N-word is N-I-G-E-R. I dare you, white or black bastards, to put Niger and then Negus, N-E-G-U-S, and Joe Gibson in your production, because one of your usual suspects called me a nigger tonight, N-I-G-G-E-R. It has nothing to do with N-I-G-G-A. And every white or black person, even Tyrone the Terrible, Tyrone, Pinocchio of TRS, you have never said in Black History Month Black History Month, the word Niger. That's the original root word, Negus. If you are a black or a white, gay, straight alike with the Bible, Torah, and Quran, Adam and Eve, if you never said the word Niger or Negus, you better not use that word nigga, Nigga, or nigger, Nigger. You better not use them goddamn words on behalf of Aksheda Veda. Now, let me bring this fast forward. On flat earth, round earth. Flat earth, round earth. It don't mean a thing because it don't have that swing. Because freedom, justice, and total independence is around every one of us. And we may not be Helen Keller, Jose Feliciano, Ray Charles, or Stevie Wonder, The Walking Dead. Our eyes are wide shut, but because of social media, not FCC, radio and TV, not because of none of those sectors, only because of Mandela Khan, the greatest man ever born in the history of the United States of America, based on the Ethiopian Empire and the total recall of the matriarch. You will never hear that it don't matter if it's a flat earth or a round earth, good cop, bad cop. It don't matter if it's the two women that Joe Gibson despised. It don't matter anymore because of Aksheda Veda. And her book will help you remember what you forgot. I'm the greatest man ever born, no matter what you see if you look at me. And I'm 69 years old, February 2015, and I'm the voodoo child. I'm the greatest man ever born in this country to bring in the sexual revolution, the final conclusion, and the bloodless revolution. You've never heard a black man, whether it comes from Joe Gibson under Confederate flag, or Tyrone Pinocchio the Terrible under the red, white, and blue. The red, white, and blue is attempting to, under the Holocaust of genocide on internationalism of African people, the eagle under Uncle Sam is attempting to wipe my people out, but it won't happen. I'll tell you why. Because of me, the greatest man ever born. Well, Aksheda Veda can tell you about that. It's because of the bloodless revolution of the Ethiopian Empire of Class Action 567, which defeated every government on the planet, from Maine to Florida, Washington State to California, from the UK, University of Kentucky, from the Congo to the Bongo. I'm the greatest man that ever been born. And you have to blind yourself, you walking dead people. You have to become past your bias, prejudice, and racism. You have to close your eyes like a child, like Helen Keller, Jose Feliciano, Ray Charles, and Stevie Wonder, if you want to honor the Constitution, not under the founding fathers under Joe Gibson, but under the mighty voice, the one and only chosen son of the matriarch. And I'm telling you, if you're a Hebrew Israelite, more Muslims than Christians, and I know that Dr. Peter Ventura and Tone and everybody and Brother Mercy and even Joe Gibson, they won't talk about the Bible. But I'm here to tell you that the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, that is where your testimony is international public record. And Mark Zuckerberg will never put me in Facebook prison. And Mark Zuckerberg knows that I'm here to destroy what the Confederate flag, the red, white, and blue, and Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. If you go online as you're a woman, mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother, black, brown, red,
all right,
white,
30
old,
seconds, Mandela Khan, 30 seconds now.
Old young gay feel like, remember, George Washington Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, and all of them, Adam and Steve is recorded in the Hebrew Israelites, Moors, Muslims, and Christians, the Bible, Torah, the Quran. Adam and Eve is not there, right? No, Adam and Steve is not there. It's Adam and Eve. That's what's there. Mary and Eve is not there. But because of Barack Hussein, the mad bomber, who sat in the white people's house in 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue in Washington, D.C., looking what we call monopoly, corruption, and greed. Barack
okay,
Hussein,
Mandela,
the
all right.
bomber,
I got to give other people their time now. Come on now.
Okay,
all right.
okay. All right, let me finish in 30 seconds. They gave Barack Hussein Obama the passport to bring in Adam and Steve and Mary and Eve. And every cardinal, bishop, monsignor, and storefront Baptist church, you know, your books of the dead, the Bible, Torah, and the Quran. It never spoke of Adam and Steve or Mary and Eve. How dare you, no good bastard, in the cathedrals, in the pulpits, authorize Barack Obama bringing in transgender, same-sex acts, where our children have to be taught how to sodomize and give each other oral sex.
Okay, Mandela, all right. I gave you more than 5 minutes, so I have to show respect to the other callers. I got to, Mandela, I hate
Tyrone. I hate Tyrone the terrible.
All right, Mandela. All right, Mandela. All right, come on now. I got to give respect. All right, the 386, and then we'll go a private caller and Archiveda, of course. I want Archiveda to really wrap up the program because she's very knowledgeable. So 386, go ahead. You wanted some final say here? Go ahead, 386, area code 386. I can't give out your full phone number. I don't want to.
Well, no, I don't want you to. No, I don't. Well, I apologize to anybody I've offended, and y'all have a good night, and talk to you later.
Okay, well, thank you very much, 386. Appreciate it. Yeah, you didn't take the full 5 minutes, so.
No, well, I don't
But
need
Thursday night, I want to see Judd on the program here on Thursday night. We're going to talk.
Okay.
All right, Mandela. Nobody interrupted you, Mandela. I gotta mute you because you're violating the. Come on now. We can't do that. We just can't.
I'll give him a couple of my minutes, Joe. Give him a couple of my minutes.
I will. Maybe I will. All right. Okay. Well, anyway, thank you for your call tonight. But Judd needs to make sure he calls in Thursday at 7 p.m.
He has your number.
All right.
He has your number
very good.
now.
I love it. We got people who are willing to say, "Hey, I'm going to call back in." And I know Archiveda, she won't lie. If she says she's going to do something, she'll do it. All right.
Joey, if you go on YouTube, he has a couple videos on there called, I can give you guys, it's open for the public.
You can go into the chat room. You can go into the chat room and post them if you want.
That guy. Look up that guy on YouTube. That guy and Judd's on there with some videos of what he believes in.
Okay.
That
All
guy.
right. Okay. Very good.
Down.
All right. Well,
we're
going to have a full discussion on this on Thursday, and you've got. I'm going to tell you right now. You tell Judd that there's going to be thousands of people listening to him because I had over 500 callers on my phone line tonight, but I just already knew that probably 400 of them were freaking scams and nonsense.
Yeah.
I go with the. I always go for whoever's first. And I know Archiveda, I know she would never call in and do anything disrespectful to this show. But, all right, private caller, you got 5 minutes in Archiveda, and then I'll wrap up the program. All right? Go ahead, private caller.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes. This is Mike from Singapore. What is going to happen to the globe is this. Rise of the Sharia law, rise of the, Islamic fascism is on rise. From Iran to Iraq, from Syria to Yemen, Saudi Arabia is the first, another terrorist nation that did over 9/11 attack because as you know, the people who did it, they were in Saudi Arabia before. And Saudi Arabia, they knew that. They kept their silence. So we keep seeing rise of fascism around the globe, whether it's fascism in the United States, whether fascism in Canada, fascism in Russia, fascism in China. These things is going to where the fascism in France, as we know, the yellow vest people, they did it for the 12 weeks or 13 weeks now. I mean, one of the guys lost his arm. One guy lost his eyes. These people, they are revolutionary. They have gone through the first revolution, freed the France. So if you want to change, you should not sit in your fucking home. And you should be out, and you should be, be part of the yellow vest worldwide. If you don't like your country, what it's doing, go to the streets. Go to Venezuela, same thing. But Venezuela is different because we have spent billions of dollars into the Donald J. Trump building in Caracas and other infrastructure. So we don't want Maduro to be president, and as a result, we are trying to screw him up and bring somebody else from, paid agent of ours, and that's wrong. Because people of Venezuela, they know what they want. They voted. Now other ones, they have to just get, along together until next elections. This is what's happening is United States military and MI6 of London, Queen of London, are responsible for all the havoc, all the crazy things happening around the globe, and we are not aware of it. If we are not aware of it, they made a coup against Dr. Mohammed Mossadegh in 1953. And then they brought the Shah. The Shah was okay, no problem. And everything in Iran was become like Europe. It was second Paris of Iran, Middle East. Now, bingo. What happened? They brought Khomeini. Now, instead of they spent the oil money for the people of Iran, they sent guns and other ammunition to Hezbollah, to other terrorist organizations around the globe. So this is our mistake. We screw up many countries, and now we say Iranian regime must go. It doesn't make sense. Why? Why we wait 40 years? Because we fuck their oils. Any country has the oil, has no democracy. You look at on the map. Do they have a democracy in Iraq? No. Do they have democracy in Syria? Because as oil, it's still civil war going on. Do they have Iran has democracy? It's a fascism there, Islamic fascism. And then, on top of it, in Venezuela is another one. Any country, we wish no oil was available to any country. Then you would see democracy, tranquility, and love, and harmony, peace would exist. Until, what they do? They let Saudi Arabia sell their oils at, whatever, $60, $70, whatever, up and down. But then, when their oil runs out, United States say, hey, Alaska is full of oil, New Mexico, everywhere is oil here, You want it? I give it to you, but not for price of $60, $70. I'm giving you for price of $500 per barrel. And then they say, if you don't want to buy it, then you will have riots in your cities. I hope you understand my message. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Mike from Singapore, one of my international callers here. That's great. Archiveda, take 5 minutes, please, and then I'll have my closing. Hopefully I can. Well, I don't know. Mike from Wisconsin was on there, too. I don't know if he wants to have a closing thought. But let's get to Archiveda first. Go ahead.
Okay, first and foremost, I just want to say thank you for always welcoming me on your show with kind words, and I appreciate your generosity and how you run your show. Also, speaking to the book is The Matriarch, and we are here to help you all remember. Not so much as to focus on where we've been. We all know where we've been. We've all seen it. We've all been taught the same history. But now it's time to write our story and to write her back into the story. And that goes back to the Trinity of Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Where's the mother in all of this? But the true Holy Trinity here is the mother, father, and child. And the way we get back to this is to deprogram all the indoctrination and false teaching that we have learned, and to bring our children back in to teach them who we truly are. And this is the reprogramming, and it's all within the renewal of the mind. And Mental Magic University is a institution which has been set up by Frank Burrell, which helps in that reprogramming process to remember where we are on a spiritual level. And this goes back to the conversation spoken earlier in the show with Judd as far as flat earth, round earth, whether it's flat or round. The point of the matter is we all exist in energy, and energy is moved from one matter to another. And so when we realize that we are this, we can operate in blind faith. And it goes to the movie Bird Box. A lot of people spoke about this movie, but I haven't heard any interpretations, which I believe, goes back to having blind faith. We must see with our inner eye so we can recognize that we are much more than this body. And the revolution that we are in right now, which is the bloodless revolution, is the answer to be our higher selves. And so in becoming our higher selves, we go into the process of bringing unity back into the earth, which is common unity. And in order to do that, we must begin to see ourselves for who we are and let go of the titles and the borders. And this is a process in the sexual revolution, which is the final conclusion. Because, see, once women begin to recognize their worth and to have love within self, and begin to heal within myself, you will come together and stop hating. So we come out of kill or be killed and into live and let live, and then we can unite in one love. And this is how we get free. But see, if we're not thinking appropriately, we will continue to stay in the mind of insanity. So let's get out of the insanity and wake up. We are in the age of Aquarius. This is the awakening into the fifth dimension. We are children of the sun, and Mother Earth is watching everything we do and is responding according to how we are treating her. From this day forward, we are to be known as Team No Fear over here. It's all about freedom, justice, and total independence, and it is near. So bringing common unity back into the community being the earth, we won't fire one shot in this bloodless revolution. But it's all about being within your diplomatic sovereignty, within self. Knowing thyself to govern thyself. When you govern yourself, you become your own law. No one can come into your jurisdiction and tell you what your status is if you're acting and behaving in the appropriate status as a person. So until you know that you are not just nationally free, you are also internationally free, you'll continue to be in the mind of slavery. So let's come out of slavery and let's all be free. But first we have to free our minds, and yes, the rest will follow. And that's what I wanted to bring to the show this evening. This is Akshita Veda. Look forward to the book coming your way, The Matriarch. And the matriarch brings the pain. Mandela Khan Davis is the chosen son of the matriarch. and we are together in one, the matriarchal no fear over here. Thank you, Joe Gibson, and thank you everybody out there listening.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I don't know if Mike from Wisconsin is still out there, if he wanted to have something to say. Are you still out there, Mike? Maybe not. Okay. Well, then in that case, I'll wrap up the program here, if everyone will allow me, just to speak a couple minutes here. Well, actually, the other caller wanted MandelaCon to have a few more minutes, so I got to give MandelaCon his respect. But in case he starts carrying on and I don't get a chance to speak, I just want to say thank you to everyone that participated in tonight's show. You know, this show is about understanding the times in which we live in today. And I really do believe in my heart and my soul and my conscience that I give everyone a free voice, even those who call in and want to call me names and then hang up and run away. I invite thousands of people on social media who I am constantly in debate with and trying to put facts on the table with them and trying to make them wake up, and most don't ever show up. You know, there's a lot of people listening on the internet. A lot of people. I had a caller out from California that said, I listen on the internet all the time, and it's a great show, and I love you for what you do. You know, our Christmas show, where a Navy veteran, where his children were stolen from him. I was the first guy 4.5 years ago to give him a voice when he went on a hunger strike and made national news after he was on my radio show. I had Terry LaPointe on this show from Medical Kidnap, a reporter that fights for parents who are having their children stolen and kidnapped from them. I was in her newspaper. I interviewed the Prime Minister of Canada, former Prime Minister of Canada, excuse me. He was the former Prime Minister at the time, about organ harvesting going around the world. I remember my great friend Mitch that came onto this program, who's a missionary in Vietnam, trying to save the children under persecution there. He was on my show. He was on InfoWars. He was on Fox News, but he came on my show first. I remember Sean Rowe, a United States Army veteran, who told me the military, it's full of crap. It's all a bunch of bull crap. And you know, and this is what I'm trying to say is we have a long history on the show of giving people a voice. Now, if you're too scared to speak up and call in, shame on you. If you want to be a social media troll and ridicule me and attack me on social media, on Twitter or whatnot, I say, hey, let's have a discussion on my radio show. Make your voice heard. I give everyone a chance. We've proven that again tonight. Even if you don't like me, if you hate me, I don't care. That's your prerogative. But I give everyone a voice. But at the end of it all, most, even when I disagree with them on some issues, or we have debates like MandelaCon and I have had hard discussions, many discussions, and gone at it with each other. We're still friends. We're still connected, and I still give them a voice. Whether or not people say, oh, I don't like that guy. Oh, well, everyone gets a voice on this radio program. Okay? That's the way it is. And that's the way it always should be. Everyone deserves a voice. And I give that to each and every one of you out there who are willing to make that voice. And if you want to use your time to waste it calling people names and hurting other people, shame on you. And yeah, I do call into other Blog Talk radio shows. And I've gotten a lot of support from other Blog Talk radio shows. But I've also gotten a lot of criticism. And you heard that from one of the callers tonight that called in. And did I mute him? Did I kick him off the show? No, he ran away like a coward. A coward. And you know, we're not living in times today where we need cowards. We need people like Archiveda. We need people like MandelaCon. And we need other callers to stand up for what is right and for what they believe in, no matter what it is, and stand up for their rights and stand up as human beings and tell the truth. look, we're all entitled to our opinions, but our opinions are not factual foundations to the way we should live. But if you do your research and you study, we can come together as a people and stop being suppressed as a people. It's not about white. It's not about black. It's not about Hispanic. It's not about Chinese. It's about this criminal corporation that controls us. And I always say, and I stand on that platform, if we end the Federal Reserve, if we abolish the Federal Reserve Act and restore, because we all got to survive. We all got to barter. We all got to pay for things. We all got to pay our bills. We all got, we got to go to the grocery store and buy food. Why should these criminal bankers have so much control over our lives? Why? Got to start with that first, folks. Aaron Russo, God rest his soul, or whatever God you believe in, I don't care, but I say God rest his soul. He always said we need to focus like a laser beam, chop the head off of the snake. End the Fed, end the Federal Reserve, restore sound money, and then we can start having a conversation about all the many other things. And believe it or not, we'll all come together because money divides all of us. It destroys us because everyone has an ulterior motive, and it's all about me and how many possessions I can have, what I can own. And that's why I played that little clip there. Many people may not agree with the founders of this country, but they had the right idea. And that was we all have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And no one should ever stomp that out of our way of life. Okay, let's see here. Mandela Khan, I'm going to give you, they're going to cut us off now. I'm going to let you know, probably in about 4 minutes. So I'm going to give you a few minutes here to talk. I promised you I would. I'm a man of my word. I always, you got to mean what you say what you mean. If you, otherwise you always got to look over your shoulder, and I don't have to look over my shoulder because I stand for what I believe in. And I try to back it up with facts. And like I do on this radio show, I give everyone a voice. And, excuse me, I'm sorry. Next Thursday at 7 p.m., we're going to discuss the flat earth. And we got a promise from Judd that will be here 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If not, we'll still have a discussion about it. Okay? So, Mandela Khan, go ahead. You can get a couple minutes here to wrap it up. They're going to cut us off probably in about 3.5 minutes, so you better make it quick. Go ahead.
I'll be precise, exact, and exclusive as the greatest man ever born under your Constitution of the Confederate flag, or Tyrone Pinocchio the Terrible and his minions and rascals who are listening, as well as a plethora of new people in understanding the sign of the times in which we live, where I can prove that I'm putting into international testimony why I am the greatest man ever born in the history of the United States of America because of Akshita Veda, somebody that you love, Joe Gibson. That's beautiful. Tyrone the Terrible Thompson, him and his minions, despise this half. You understand me? You understand me, Joe Gibson? Now, let me show you why I'm the greatest man ever born. Because of the matriarch that overturns the books of the dead, Bible, Torah, and Quran. Not just the Bible. I said Torah and Quran. I'm putting it in your network, understanding the science on which we live. Hebrew Israelites, M-O-O-R-S, Moors, Muslims, and Christians. You are dismissed. Religion has stole the legacy of the matriarch. From Maine to Florida, Washington State to California, UK, University of Kentucky, from the Congo to the Bongo, which I can prove why I'm the greatest man ever born, is because under the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, Adam and Steve, the books of the dead, the Bible, Torah, and the Quran, it has nothing to do with Adam and Steve. It said Adam and Eve. And here we got Mary and Eve. Many beautiful women will suck the gizzards out of each other from the Congo to the Bongo because of the Masonic order of a patriarch, where women have to submit their power, sexual revolution, power of the pussy, power of the commodities. I'm telling you that the nuns under the Pope, the Cardinal, the Bishop, and Monsignor, they will come out the closet if they know that the matriarch is here to turn the upside world upside down. I'm telling you that under Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, every one of you, black or white, Jose Feliciano, Helen Keller, Stevie Wonder, Ray Charles, you have to admit that it stole the legacy of the real Holy Trinity, which is the mother, father, and child. Most children born on Mother Earth is not boys under Yahweh, Jehovah, Jesus, under Quetzalcoatl, under Muhammad. Most boys are under the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost of the Bible, Torah, and Quran. But most children born on Mother Earth is under her story. The only good thing about the good old days of history is that they are dead and gone. You won't get 40 acres and a mule or reparations. But because now to the future, her story, it gives not socialism, as Joe Gibson want to make a boogeyman word, capitalism based on imperialism under white power is the enemy of all life on the planet. And that comes under the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost of the motherfucking Bible, Torah, and Quran. And all you Hebrew Israelites, Moors, Muslims, and Christians, you fall under that historical jurisdiction. Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. I can prove from Maine to Florida, Washington State to California, from the Congo to the Bongo, all children born the real Holy Trinity, February 2019, is the mother, the creator, the father, which is the saviors, and the child. And most children born February 2019 going forward, they're
going to cut us off in
forward.
about 15 seconds. They just told me, Mandela Khan, so you better not get cut off in the middle of your sentence. Hurry up.
Most of the children born in February 2019 won't be boys. Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, like Casper, Uncle Sam, Santa Claus, the Pope, they don't exist. So Gibson, close us out. Much love.
All right, thank you very much. They're going to cut me off. They just told me. All right, listen, Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time this Thursday. Flat Earth. We'll be having that discussion. 657-383-0616. Thank you, everybody. God bless. Take care. And thank you for my callers tonight. Stay safe. Be strong.